24 hours, he held out hope. Hope that maybe someone somehow survived and was trapped under the rubble waiting for rescue. It was with that hope Paul Dondorfer worked feverishly 20 years ago at Ground Zero. Dondorfer is now with the Rochester Police Department, but then he was fresh out of the police academy and thrilled to have a job with the NYPD. Here's my interview with him about that day. The big question that everybody asks everybody about this is, where were you?
I worked nights at the time, so when the first plane hit, I was home. Close friends of mine from Rochester were the first ones to call me and tell me what was going on, and obviously, you know, your first assumption is it's one of those sightseeing planes, or it's, you know, a helicopter wasn't paying attention, tried to get a little bit too close for a picture and hit, until you started watching the news and realized that it was far more than just an accident.
Do you remember the moment you realized this might be more?
For me, it was, you know, looking at the fire saying, boy, that was an awfully big plane that hit, and then when all the other information started coming along and then the second plane hit, I think that was the real, okay, it's time to go now. Something super bad is happening.
So what happened next for you?
Well, I was actually on my way into my precinct when the building collapsed, when the first tower went down. And as I was arriving, the second tower went down, and that's when, you know, it was all hands on deck, go grab all your stuff, and we're going to head down.
And you did?
We did.
What happened?
To be honest with you, in the very beginning, there was a lot of just mass confusion, trying to salvage what we could salvage, who was running around, other problems that were arising from two of the biggest buildings in the world collapsing, obviously creates structural problems for the buildings that were around it, getting the people treated that needed to be treated, and just kind of trying to get some semblance of order to go through the pile and try and find people.
What was your mental state at that point? Were you kind of just in work mode?
100% work mode. You have a job to do. We knew what our job was. We knew that there were people that needed to be rescued, and that was our responsibility. We also needed to maintain the safety of everyone around us, because obviously there was a lot still in question. Is another plane going to come? Are there secondary explosive devices in and around the buildings that once a bunch of first responders get down there, they're going to detonate those? So there was a million things going through your mind, but we had a job to do. We all had tasks, and we all completed those tasks.
20 years later, what are your reflections on that day?
20 years later, I could still remember it like it was yesterday. You know, I still talk to the same people at the same time every year. Always gets a little harder around this time of year. You know, that's what happens on anniversaries of things. It's a tough spot to be in right now, seeing this country the way that it is and knowing what we could be, and just hopeful that we could come to some sort of common ground again, which would be a blessing for every single one of us.
Did you see it that day?
Oh, yeah.
Coming together?
And then some.
Dondorfer worked for NYPD until 2005, when he decided it was time to move back home to Rochester. To see more stories like this one, head over to the Adam interview section of rochesterfirst.com.